Welcome to the Dave Palma Show, the podcast that revives, restores, and awakens your innermost capabilities.
You have the training and the talent to succeed, but do you have the guts to fail?
I love what I do. When you love what you do, you want to be the best at it.
Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
Find your path to success through the journey of those who have succeeded. And now, your host, Dave Palma.
Hi, welcome back to the Dave Palma Show. And in this episode, I have an award-winning author, speaker, and wellness consultant. She's mastered overcoming adversity in the mass genocide in Cambodia. She draws strength from her experience to help others overcome their own obstacles and fears. She has life lessons and gained wisdom that impacts others due to her experience of surviving the mass genocide in Cambodia. Her inspirational and award-winning book, How I Survived the Killing Fields, was honoured in 2015. Sara Iman, welcome to the Dave Palma Show.
Thank you for having me, Dave. It's my pleasure.
Pleasure having you here as well, Sarah. Sara, is it Sara or Sarah? Some people say Sarah.
Sarah is fine.
Okay, yes, that's no problem. Yeah, because I used to have a girlfriend her name was spelt like that, S-A-R-A, and she called Sarah, but then some said Sara, so it's like my surname is confusing to people. So, but anyway, let's get to your story. Well, everybody knows about. Obviously there was a film called The Killing Fields, but nothing's better than speaking to the person that was actually could have been one of the persons that was persecuted, which is yourself. You know, one of the many thousands or millions, I don't know how many it was, that was killed and buried in those fields, which obviously was, a real atrocity in those days. And obviously some people don't hear about Cambodia as much as Vietnam, because the Vietnam War is kind of more I was a Vietnam veteran, but actually it was a spillover from the Vietnam War. So it was all going on at the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah. 1975 and between 75 and 79, that's
the
what
same
happened.
period.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I've been to Southeast Asia. I was living out there. I've not been to Vietnam or Cambodia, only the surrounding countries. So, it would be great to have a take on your story. So tell us what happened in that time when you was growing up in Cambodia first, and then up to 75. When all this sort of started happening. I mean, what can you remember before and during that time?
Yes, before 75, well, I was born in the countryside in the smaller city, and my life was beautiful. I lived close to the nature and surrounded by beautiful tropical plants and trees and flowers and animals, all that, and I was the firstborn child. I feel so loved and secure. But my parents, they believe in education, so they encourage me to stay in school. So that had been in my mind when I grew up. When I graduated from high school, I had an opportunity to go to college in the capital city, that is Phnom Penh. So that means I have to leave home. Right. That's about 300 to 400 miles away from home.
Right, and that's to the capital, was it?
Yeah, the capital. Called Phnom Penh is the capital city. Yeah.
And how old were you then? About 16 or something?
No, I was 20 when I went.
20, okay.
Yeah.
So you moved there from the beautiful countryside.
Yeah, while I was in Phnom Penh attending college, in 1975, the Khmer Rouge communists took over the country.
Oh, and that time, yeah? Same time?
That time, yeah. The same time when I was in college.
Wow.
So I had no idea that things change upside down, inside out like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, when they came in, they demand that everything shut down. So there's nothing open.
Yeah.
And no
Worse than the lockdown. Worse than the lockdown we've had now.
Yeah, it worse than the lockdown.
Yeah.
Now here, when we have a lockdown here,
It's like
at least,
somewhat.
yeah, you can go to grocery store and buy
that's
something.
right. Yeah.
And if you are sick, you can go to the hospital. But
Yeah.
not over there. During that time, nothing open. So that means all the transportation was shut down. I cannot go home.
Yeah.
I was forever separated from my family, and that was so painful for me because all I thought about is my family. And the backstory why I was so attached to my family is that 4 or 5 years before then, my mom was paralyzed from an accident. She became paralyzed, and I was a caregiver.
Yeah.
So
For your mother or you as a caregiver in general?
yeah, I took care of my mom for 4 years.
Yeah. Oh, that's a long time. Yeah.
That built such a strong bond between me and my mom. And now that I am so far away, hundreds of miles away, and I have no way to go back home, it's just so painful for me to think about it, that I want to be there, but I can't. But anyway, so they evacuate everybody from all the city.
The communist party.
The communists, the communists. So I got pushed, and I end up to be in a big forced labor camp.
What was that like?
In that labor camp, it just you become a slave. It's worse than a slave. The slave can have enough food, but this slavery, they don't they don't feed you enough. So I have been very starved and exhausted and sleepy and tired and sick.
Yeah, I remember, I was only 10 years old, probably around that time, 10, 11. So I remember seeing the pictures on TV of the pictures they showed of Cambodia and really the famine, it almost looked like skeletons.
Yes.
Kids.
Yes, I was
And so you got like that, yeah?
I was one of the skeleton.
Yeah, oh no.
Yeah, I barely can walk because I have no energy. I lost so much weight. I only have bone and skin.
So you couldn't have the strength to do anything?
No. Yeah. So when I become too sick to go to work, they put me in a separate place. They call it hospital, but the hospital without doctor and medication. There's nothing there. You just go there, wait for your time to die. That's it.
It's more like a hospice, like that.
Yeah.
It's not a nice, kind of situation. So you got removed there.
I ran away from there.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So
I realized.
How did that happen then? How did that happen?
Well, I pray a lot because I believe that God knows. I ask God to help me. So I pray every night. And then one day I realized I need to walk out from here. So I walked back to where the work camp is. Yeah. When I went back, there was a team leader. She is one of the kindest team leaders. She saw me and she took me in her group and she said, "You stay with me. Let me see if I can find something for you to do." Yeah. And when she realized that I'm too sick to do anything, and she talked to the kitchen staff and she said, "You can go and work in the kitchen." for me, that work kitchen, it's like I win the lottery. I win the lottery.
I can imagine. I know what it's like. At times were hard, and there's not enough food.
Yeah,
of course, in the UK, you're covered, but in Cambodia at that time, you're not. Whereas, at the UK at that time, you're covered. Even if there isn't much food to go around, you can get it still.
Yeah, so that's my first experience, and I realized that I will survive. I will survive because if I did not get to work in the kitchen, if I did not get that break, I probably didn't make it.
Yeah. Did you
I
see other people around you like go and things like that, or what was it like? It must have been horrendous, really, to be.
The people that are in the sick place, the so-called hospital, they are dying every day.
Yeah.
I saw people dying. And the people that work, they are not that well either. They drag their feet to go to work. Even if they are sick, they still have to work because they cannot stay behind. Yeah. So it's so miserable.
Yeah. And also, the killing fields, was you kind of like next to the killing fields? Because obviously we're going to go into your book, which is called How I Survived the Killing Fields. So was it next to it, or you just heard about the killing fields, or when there's something that you learned about after the escape, the Great Escape?
Well, I didn't know the name at that time, but when the movie come out, I realized that I was in the killing field.
Yeah,
I was in it.
Yeah,
but the killing field is everywhere
it was everywhere. That's
in
right.
Cambodia, but some region is worse than the other.
Yeah.
So the region, my camp is considered not as violent as the other camp.
Right. So that's another thing
so I did not see people kill in front of me. At least when they detect on somebody have a history of have attachment with the previous government and so on, they get sneak out. They kill those people quietly. So that's my camp. But other camp, they are more brutal than that. So I'm grateful that I was in this camp that it's less brutal.
Yeah. Wow. So anyway, you worked in the kitchen, got fed, and that must have felt, I don't know, had to feel it. Felt like a big relief to your body and mind,
Yeah, because when our body was lack of nutrition, lack of rest, lack of sleep, it's all. Oh,
you didn't get much sleep in there either?
No. We worked so hard. Yeah.
You had to work out there. It's a labor slave camp. Yeah.
Yeah, we did not have enough time to sleep. Maybe like 4 hours a night to sleep. So that's not enough, especially when you are young. Remember, when you are young, you just want to sleep.
As kids, you need more hours than adults. You need about 10 hours, something like that. Minimum 9, 10. Because your body is still growing. So you need the growth hormones to kind of like refresh overnight, to do what it needs to do while you're sleeping overnight. There's a lot of stuff that goes on about it. I don't want to go into on a tangent, but of course, it's just to help people understand that it wasn't just a famine. It was other things as well. And they're working you hard at the same time as lack of sleep and food, which isn't, and the stress of it. It's all definitely pointing towards destruction. And like you say, the death of some people that got just thrown into the fields. Yeah, a terrible place to be. Terrible place. So, So anyway, what happened after the kitchen scenario and the Great Escape, if you like? Let's talk us through that, because that must have been quite kind of thrilling and scary to do as well. Because if you get caught, it's like, oh no. But of course, that you want to do that, because what else can you do?
Yeah. So I got about several months working in the kitchen. That was a life-saving experience. And then when I feel better, look better, and I gain weight, so they did not let me continue working in the kitchen, of course.
Okay.
They pull me out and then throw me right back into the rice field.
Right.
So, yeah.
Is that where most people worked, in the rice field?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So, back to the beginning again. So
Reset.
I start to decline again because the life that they push us to do it just beyond our normal life capability. So we start to decline, and I start to get sick again. But after 4 years, I endure 4 years in this camp. So after 4 years, there was some noise of a gunshot and bomb and a rocket. So the team get moved. So the guard start to move the camp closer to the jungle. So when we get moved, in one way, I was happy that we are not stuck at that situation. We get moved, but when they move us closer to the jungle, I start to get concerned. I said, no, go to the jungle. It's not where I can find my family. I want to go back to my hometown. So after I moved with them for a while, I realized that I need to get out. I need to find my way out. So that's when I have a courage to plan an escape.
Okay. Yeah.
So my plan is I gather 3 of my close friends and I ask them, would you escape with me? And they all say yes, 3 of them.
Yeah.
So we sneak out. We escape. It's a very dangerous. We can get killed on the spot if they find us.
If they caught you outside, because to be honest, nobody should be outside. So they will very easily see you and say you're not supposed to be there, and then like that, isn't it? Really, it's not like you can disguise yourself as a population walking around.
No, but it's a good thing that it's in the jungle, and when it gets dark, it's dark. It's really dark. They cannot see us, so we just walk very fast. So when we walk through the night, and when the sun come up,
rise, yeah.
When the sun rises, we realize that we are out. We made it out.
Yeah.
Wow. We were so happy, and we just beyond grateful that they didn't caught us, and we are free.
Yeah.
But my next challenge is to find my way home.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, because we have no map, no direction, no GPS, of course.
And 1974 in Cambodia, it's not even as advanced as the UK was, with some of the transportation systems and that.
Back then we have nothing. And especially they shut down everything. There's nothing
That's right, so that's the other thing, yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of is like the lockdown, because obviously nobody's meant to be out. So it's like the lockdown here. What are you doing out? We're going to arrest you. Except it's kind of like we're going to put you back in a camp and kill you. Which obviously is a more extreme, isn't it, really? So.
But we was very fortunate that they did not find us and they did not kill us. And I keep when I see some people, I ask them for direction to go to my hometown. So one by one, somebody told me, "Oh, you go that direction." So I follow the direction, and for a long walk, maybe a few weeks,
Oh, wow.
walking
Yeah.
non-stop. And finally, when I got to my hometown, guess what? I didn't find my house. They destroyed.
Oh,
They
no.
destroyed our house.
Ooh.
And I couldn't find my family near around there either.
All right.
So, but
Is that what they were doing? They were going out to the countryside and sort of destroying
Well-
things.
yeah, they destroyed the big house. They used the wood to build small house.
Who? The people
The
who owned the
Khmerus.
killing fields?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
The communist. The communist.
Yeah, okay.
regime.
Yeah.
But
So,
finally, I was able to find my family.
oh, good.
Yeah, it was a happy day for me. It's beyond happy.
Yeah.
For 4 years, I was dreaming about for that.
Yeah. Wow. So this went on for about 4 years for you, did it? Or about 4 years?
Yeah.
So 4 years, and by the time you was 24, 25, you wanted to rebuild your life and
Yeah, about
then-
25. And my mom did not recognize me at first because I was just skin and bone.
Yeah.
But so she started to pamper me with delicious food and organic food.
Yeah, organic. Yeah.
Wonderful.
'Cause it's all homegrown out there, isn't it? No, not
Yeah,
chemicals or
homegrown.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah.
So that's how I survive. It's
Yeah.
perseverance and have my love and compassion, and I love my family. I would do anything to be back with my family.
Yeah. So what? Let's move on to your book then. Why did you write the book?
I wrote the book 6 years ago. This is
Yeah.
after I reunite with my family and so on, and I had to escape out of the country again because the situation was not safe. So finally, after a long journey, I was able to come to United States. So 35 years later, I wrote my book.
That's
So, yeah, it gave me enough time for me to heal myself and to think carefully and to also know why do I need to write this book.
Yeah.
I wrote it to help other people because
Yeah.
I came across some people who lost their teenage through suicide.
All right. Okay.
And my heart was broken, and I realized if they just know about my story, how hard life was for me, they might change their mind about taking their own life. That's what I was thinking. That's why I want to write the book.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's, it's like me that, my book and this podcast is, many people are getting something from the guests like yourself, giving something back like that. How you sort of had that mental perseverance in that. So how can people learn from your own experience?
How
Lessons.
can
Yeah. What are some of the lessons we can learn from your experience?
some of the lesson is what is valuable for me is that when we go through hard time, we have to hold on to something that is positive, that is helpful, that is optimistic, positive. So for me, it's a love for my family
Yeah.
and the faith that I have in me. I believe that things will get better.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I believe that things will get better. So if you have some faith, you have love in your heart, and you have hope, that's a 3 key component that can help somebody not to give up hope, that keep pushing keep being perseverant.
Yeah.
And and also we have to have a determination. If you believe in something, you have to go for it, determined to do it. So I was determined that I'm going to go find my family.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you finally found them, and then you settled in, relocated to the US. Was that as a refugee, or you managed to kind of like save your money and go there, or?
No, I have no money. So when I escaped, I found a refugee camp that the United Nations set up
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
So I registered as a refugee, and then my relative in United States. I have one relative in United States.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he came as a student, so
Okay,
he
that's good.
sponsored me to come to United States.
That was just after you escaped, like the 4 years after. But he was already in the US.
He
while the killing
he
fields
was
going.
already in the U.S.
So
yeah.
luckily he didn't get.
Yeah.
wasn't around all that, so that was good.
Right. If he was in Cambodia, he would not survive. They kill a lot of people that are educated.
Oh really? Yeah, because I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want any educated people
Yeah.
to live, to fight back, to.
It's like how the Taliban shot Malala in Pakistan in the head. They shot her because she said, "No, the women need the right to be educated," and they shot her in the head and flew her to the UK to get operated on, and she's there now, doing her thing as well, really. So.
What happened to her now?
Oh no, she's still now. She's speaking out still about rights. And I mean, I think the last thing when Afghanistan crisis, she still had a word to say, a few words. But of course, at the time when she got sort of shot in the head by the Taliban, she was speaking out a lot. At the United Nations even and things like that.
Yeah.
A year and a half after she recovered from the bullet in her head. So. But no, these regimes, I mean, it's nice, and we need people like yourself to talk and speak out about this more, who's been there on the ground.
Yes.
The warriors, I should say. Like me, I'll class this as a warrior, rather than just a victim or something like that, really. So.
Right. You have
whatever it is in life, adversity, you can get through it and fight.
Yes. You have to empower yourself not to be a victim. No matter what, you are not a victim.
No, yeah, you're a warrior.
Take control of your own life, and with God's help.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, apart from the book, you also have some other services you provide. Can you tell us about those?
My other service is speaking. I love to speak, to share my story and share the lesson that I learned, and to empower people, to encourage, inspire, because if I can make out through the killing field, anybody can make it out through any problem, any situation. I just want to give people hope that you have to have hope in order to move forward.
Exactly, yeah, definitely. And I always remember a thing I saw about hope. Have only positive expectations. HOPE. So that's what hope means. If you want to translate
that's a good one.
yeah, I saw that. I thought, yeah, that's absolutely right. And I tend to kind of veer my brain there. And if I'm around too much negativity, that stresses me out because I don't want to be around that. I like speaking.
Yes.
Positive expectations.
Right.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, where can people find your book and everything else about you?
I have a website, saraim.com. It's spelled SARAIM.com.
Yeah. Okay.
And the book is in that website.
Yep.
And my speaking service, you can reach me there. You can also email me. if you want. My email is sarah@saraim.com.
Excellent, Sarah. It's been a very great pleasure hearing this story, and I'd like speaking to I know it's political as well, but I've got a politics degree, so it's something I like to mix in with these stories of overcoming adversities and resilience, and it's really been a great pleasure having on the show. So thanks a lot for coming along and sharing this with my audience today.
Thank you so much, Dave. What you are doing is wonderful. It's so important that we help each other. We, as a speaker, as a podcaster or author, we write coach. What we believe in, what we write, what we can encourage people.
Yeah. That's great, and it's great what you're doing as well. So once again, thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dave.
That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, if you want to support what we do, then share, subscribe, and leave a review over on Apple Podcasts, or head over to my website, davepalmer.com, and click on Rate Show. Well, that's all for now, but I'll see you in the next episode of The Dave Palmer Show.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.